This says I'm live. Sorry. Let's go right back here. Is that better? I know the trees are pretty to look at, but lighting, not that I have great lighting, I don't care. It's all about the content and the message, right? All right. I don't know. I don't know what happened to the last one. I'm really bummed. I talked and talked and talked for like 20 minutes with all this great information. And I take a little bit of notes, but I really don't, um, I guess, format or write out what I say. I don't script it um, because messages like this are in the moment, and a lot's happened in this last week. I hope everybody has had an opportunity to go through the handout I sent out um, and get started with your goals, this idea of getting curious about your habits, looking at what you do on a regular basis, and starting to ask questions and also look at what you want to continue to do, what you might want to shift or change moving forward. So, those are some of the basics that were covered in the handout and in the last video. Um, I'm going to share two stories and then I'm going to end with just talking a little bit about that cortisol regulation and sleep and just this season that we're in because we are just a complete paradox as a society right now. And so I'll talk a little bit about that. Okay. So, two stories. This first story, the reason why I really want to talk about this is because it was a huge shift for me, and it's a great foundational story to talk about this moving into a new lifestyle, moving into some new beliefs and some new practices. So, when you're looking for some sort of change in life, such as weight loss, more wellness, overall feeling better, if you jump right into the practices without setting a foundation and getting your mindset wrapped around what you're doing, why you're doing it, then you're going to have very temporary um, results. You're going to have a quick fix. You're going to have a temporary result. And I guarantee you, life is going to come at you one way or another through the seasons, the vacations, the just I'm stressed out. You're going to resort back to what is comfortable and easy. And when what I'm trying to establish here is a foundation that when life does spiral out of control, you know exactly what to do to get yourself back on track. And you don't have to wait until it's a month or 2 months that you've been gaining the weight, getting in a frenzy, high anxiety, things are out of control. You can start to recognize that within a day or a week's time frame and say, based on the things that I've learned, I've done, I can get back into um, my healthy routine starting right now, starting tomorrow, whenever it is. So, not waiting until you're spiraled out of control to say, I've got to change something. Okay. So, the first story I'm going to share with you is called the 5 a.m. wake up call. And this happened with me over in September. My birthday's in September. And I don't know, I just got this idea that I wanted to start doing things that I've never done before and just try it on, see how it fits. Is that something new that I want to continue doing with this new year that I'm walking into? So I got the brilliant idea of going to a 6 a.m. workout class. I am not typically a morning person, and I definitely have always been a person that it's more effective for me to work out sometime between 9 or 11. But this idea of doing something I've never done hit me. And so I set the alarm the night before for 5 a.m. because I do need time to wake up and get going. I can't just jump out of bed and get there. I need to slowly get into my morning. So comes, the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. And I did what any sane person would do. I turned off that alarm. And I quickly thought, what was I even thinking? I can't get up for this. I don't do this. What, like, I'm not a morning person? No. And so I shut it all down, rolled over, went back to sleep. And about 5 minutes later, my eyes popped open. And this thought occurred to me that I don't know if I can work out at 6 a.m. unless I go. If I set an alarm and I decide I can't do it and I don't get up, I actually will never know. Hitting the snooze button or turning the alarm off is not actually doing the thing. I have to do the thing. So I gave myself a big sigh of, annoyance. And I got out of bed and I made it to the class. And my trainer was like, "What are you doing here? This is not 9 a.m., Jen. This is 6. What are you doing here?" And I told him what I just told you, that, I wanted to try some new things on, just kind of push my limits, push what I'm capable of. And see. So at the end of the class, he said, "Are we going to start seeing you on a regular basis?" And I said, "I don't know." But I did get up the next week. So I do it once a week on Thursdays. I get up and I go. And I have gone repeatedly to the class. And I have fallen in love with it. And the reason is because it is outside of my comfort zone. It is hard to get up when it's dark. It is hard to go out when it's cold. It is hard to do those things. But at the end of that workout, I feel like I conquered that block that I had for myself. And I did it, and I do it repeatedly, and it makes me feel so great in a number of ways. So I want to give you that story to think about in terms of you're going to make some changes. And it's going to be so easy to stay in the comfort zone and say, "I can't do that." Meal prepping, eating new foods, or just the different things that will go along here in terms of our practices around eating and food and wellness. I'll ask you to do things that you might not have ever done before, or you did it and it was fuzzy and you didn't like it, whatever. I'm saying step into it in these 4 weeks and get curious and look at it from a different vantage point rather than it being hard or challenging. Look at it as you are conquering, you're breaking past a barrier because you want to create something different in your life. The other story I'm going to call myself out on is yesterday. So I used to meditate regularly, and that was obviously before kids, because kids throw in a whole new wrench in life. And, I have made so many excuses over the years of why I can't do it. And my practice is in and out and in and out and in and out. Well, since I've been putting together this class, I've had this internal, conversation saying, "Jen, you need to take the time to create some space in meditation. You need to quiet your mind. You need to breathe. You need to calm your nervous system down. You need to do this." And I haven't been doing it. And that voice keeps getting louder, and I keep coming up with other things like, Oh, I can read. Reading is soothing. Or I can sit here in silence, or I can put on soothing music. And those are effective and they work. But I know that that calling in me is saying, quiet your mind, connect within, center yourself, you know, ground, all these things that I know. And I kept putting it off. And finally, yesterday, I don't know why. And as soon as I closed my eyes and gave into it, it was like, oh my gosh, this relief. This, why have I been keeping myself small and keeping myself in this other spot um, where I know when I'm connected and grounded and centered, things align in my life so much easier. And the reason that I got that I hadn't been doing that is because I felt a level of I need to be accountable. I will have to be accountable to myself. Get into this other thing that, I couldn't be, I don't know, calm, lock down and, and be in that all the time. And I don't know why I started lining all these pressures and conversations and beliefs in my head. But again, when I just got to the actual practice and made it over the hump of saying, this is what feels good and right, and all this other chatter that I have going on that's keeping me small, keeping me from doing the things that feed and fuel me for my overall wellness and peace. It's not that hard, and I can do it. And it's not another to do. It's just make the time, make the ways. Because I too go through these struggles of I know what I should be doing. I know I finally align myself and I align with what it is that I am wanting to create in my life, it becomes so much easier. The path opens up. So I want you to take those stories in and to think about what you're creating back from, because you don't want to be accountable. You feel like it's going to be too difficult. What's this button? Sorry. Got distracted. Oh my God. Because you feel like it's going to be too difficult to do something new, start a new pattern. Try it on. That's what this whole thing, this program is all about, is trying new things on, seeing what sticks, making adjustments where you can. Okay. So we talked a little bit of foundation. The sleep and nervous system management is going to be key. And there's such a key component of the day, keeping in the high octane, anxious, go, go, go mentality. We're going to burn ourselves out. Our adrenal glands need our support, especially this time of year. They need us to calm down. And that's why I say in the beginning, we live in such a contradiction right now, because this holiday thing that we've created is the exact opposite of what we should be doing. What we should be doing is quieting everything down, doing less, hibernating, so sleeping more, less activity, desire of the body and its well-being to do right now. So we're in this holiday craze, the countdown until Christmas is here. And pretty much mom, I haven't talked to many dads, but every mom I talk to is feeling pressure one way or another. Not enough time, too many things on the to-do list, too many engagements, too many things going on. I said today, I feel like the fitness center needs that's occurring. So unless you can find a rage room you need to figure out ways to slow your roll, man. You got to slow it down. So, getting an extra hour of sleep, commit that you're going to close down for your day at 7. You're going to shut down all electronics at 7. Maybe read for an hour before you go to sleep. Turn off the lights. Maybe you normally do it at 10. It's the envelope for you, but I promise it's going to be worth it. You start to feel crazy in the world right now, get in your car, go to the bathroom, wherever it is, go sit in the closet, close your eyes, quiet the mind, connect to your core, connect to your center, ground your energy down into the earth. Think about burrowing in as if you were a bear, hibernating, getting warm and cozy and secure and comfortable. This energy that we create that's like out out there shopping, out in the world, pulling our energies out. That is what we're supposed to do in the summertime. We're not supposed to negotiate with yourself, your way of being. Where can you say no? Honestly, look at your schedule in the week. Where can you say no and say, I'm not signing up for that? I'm going to choose to do these other things. I can show up 100% in it and then go back to my cave and hibernate. All right. I think the handout was explanatory on everything else. I hope this recorded. I don't know if it did. So if not, I just talk to myself again for another 20 minutes, hold it, and we'll see. And then I'm going to come back on Friday in the afternoon. I'll send out an email when I schedule it so you'll know the time, but I'm planning sometime in the afternoon, probably around 2 or 3 that I'll do the next one. And it'll be the week 2, and we're going to talk about hydration, the importance of the hydration. We're going to talk about blood sugar regulation and get into the nitty gritties of that. So send me your questions. Hopefully this worked. Thank you everybody for your patience, and I'll see you soon.